Hello everyone and welcome to my coloring corner. Today we are going to actually do a bit of a history lesson on the Faber family lineage, as well as the EberhardFaber artist color colored pencils. EberhardFaber is a descendant of the original Faber that created the pencil company in Germany. EberhardFaber company started in the United States as a subsidiary of A.W. Faber, which was the original company name after the first Faber. The creator of the company passed away. His son A.W. Took over the Faber-Castell company, and he had 3 sons, and those 3 sons separated into different subsidiaries. So the original company name, as we know it, is A.W. Faber. When A.W. Faber sent Eberhard to the United States to create a international office, there was a family feud that happened during that time, and Eberhard started his own company, which created EberhardFaber. The Castell name in Faber-Castell came from a descendant of one of the great-granddaughters of A.W. Faber when not A.W. Faber, of Johann Faber. One of his great-granddaughters married a Castell, and when she inherited the company in Germany, in Stein, when she married a Castell, a part of being a Faber is you can't get rid of your Faber name. So then it became Faber-Castell. And that's Eberhard Faber as well as A.W. Faber are individual businesses, and you can purchase different sets both in Eberhard Faber, A.W. Faber, and Faber-Castell. All 3 of those companies are now under the same roof and are now owned by Faber-Castell. Eberhard Faber was in business in the United States for a very long time. When his family lineage dissipated, the Eberhard Faber company was sold to Stedler. Stedler has since sold the rights to the Eberhard Faber back to the Faber-Castell family. So that is the history of Eberhard Faber. You can still purchase Eberhard Faber colored pencils that are produced new in the factory in Stein, Germany. I think it's Germany, yes. In Stein, Germany. These come from Stein. These are not a U.S. production, and that sort of thing. So, yeah, I don't know why I'm out of breath today. So these are 48 colored pencils. This is the highest number that I could find. I'm not saying that they don't go any higher. It's possible, but I have not been able to find them. And on their website, it only goes up to 48. They say they are water resistant, soft and vibrant color laydown. Now, let's talk about the pencils themselves, not just the creator and the family of the Fabers. The family itself is now all under Faber-Castell. So there's different products that are being produced with different names that are all still a part of that Faber-Castell family. Faber-Castell has been around for a very long time. Like I do believe 1800s. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, since the 18th century. Caspar Faber created the company in 1784, was when his son Anton Wilhelm took over the company and created the A.W. Faber Company. Eberhard moved to the United States in 1949, establishing the American branch of the A.W. Faber Company. And he opened several different factories in Florida as well as Brooklyn. So yeah. But when he passed away, his son took over and definitely took over the company, and it became a really large thing up until let me see here. I'm going through the history right now. Yeah, the business, the A.W. Faber-Castell is still a German company in descendants of Caspar Faber, which is the original Faber-Castell. But yeah, it's a really interesting story. If you want to check it out, it's also on the Brooklyn Public Library. It also is on the Eberhard Faber history, as well as on the Faber-Castell family history as well. So it's a really interesting collection point, I guess. Because I'm a collector, I want to know about the pencils. I want to know about the family. I want to know about the companies, that sort of thing. So it may be boring and uninteresting, but Eberhard Faber is a descendant of Caspar Faber, who is the original creator of the Faber-Castell brand and the Faber-Castell company. Okay, the pencils. There's 48 pencils in this set. This is the most expensive small set of pencils I have ever bought. And if it wasn't for the collection, I probably wouldn't have bought them. Not that there are horrible pencils. They're actually beautiful pencils. But because they're 48 pencils and just under $100. So it's basically a little under $2 a pencil for these pencils. So for a 48 set, I expect, and for a Faber-Castell product, I expect a little bit of quality in that purchase price, as well as the brand name. The pencil lead quality is fantastic. They are bonded and that sort of thing. We will test their water solubility and smudging and all that stuff here in just a moment. The one thing I was very disappointed with this set was, I'll show you here, I'm going to zoom you in. They are a hexagonal pencil, which does not disappoint me. That's perfectly fine. However, the only thing on the pencil that tells you what color it is this color dip. There is no numbers. There is no names. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. There isn't even a swatch chart on the tin to give you color names or anything like that. That I find a little bit disappointing. Even the Faber-Castell student level pencil has at least a color number so that you can actually utilize that number to make your swatch chart, to, let people know what color you're using, or to remember what color you're using. Um, so yeah, I was a little disappointed with it. I did put some number dots on the end of each pencil. I do have to glue them down still. But that was very disappointing to me with a Faber, like a Faber product, as well as the price point that the product was. Not only on Amazon, but on eBay. Amazon was actually one of the cheaper places I was able to find these pencils. eBay was a little high. The Faber-Castell site itself, I couldn't find them. Even on the EberhardFaber site, I can find them, but I couldn't find where to purchase them. If you are in New York area, you may be able to find this company's pencils all over the place because they were there for a very long time. However, they're not filtering over to Oregon. You want to filter some of those over here, I'd be happy not to pay almost $100 for them. But I did, and it's not that I'm disappointed in doing so. I'm just a little disappointed in the lack of the special color names and the ability to just say, okay, I need number 12 and grab number 12. You know what I mean? All right, so we're going to do some testing on these pencils. I need to grab my pen. I forgot to do my circles, so we're going to do those circles together. The colors are quite vibrant. They're very nice. I don't have any issues with the color selection for a small set. I do find that the reds are not as heavy in this set, I guess. I prefer a little bit of a heavier red set, but it is what it is. A lot of smaller sets do tend to put few reds and replace some of the reds with pinks, which is fine. They are in the red family. But I like that vibrant, bright red. We will also be using the Faber-Castell polychromos tomorrow during our joint live stream with Amazon Tammy. So this is a great set of pencils to take a look at today in knowing that we will be using more of the family's pencils tomorrow. Oh, that was a terrible circle. I messed up that circle. All right. Oh, I am messing up all over the place this morning. It's my own fault for not getting this done beforehand because I was reading instead. All right, there we go. Now I'm going to make sure that you can see everything. Let's move that over a little bit this way. There we go. All right, so we're going to choose a red and a yellow. So number 3, number 8, and a blue. So let's try number 25. Oh, number 24. Let's do number 23. Number 24. Number 24. All right. I do not know why I'm out of my. I feel like something's putting pressure on my lungs today, and I don't know why. And it's really kind of annoying. So we're going to do our water test. We're gonna Now they say that on the packaging as well as on the information on the website about these pencils, they say that they are water resistant. Now I am finding that these are not dusty at all, which is great. It does not say whether they are wax-based or oil-based, but by the feel of them, I would say that they are oil-based, just because they require a little bit of layering to build up that color. You could possibly squish them, but you may find that you run out of tooth very quickly. All right. And the reason for the water test is to ensure that they're not going to move when I add things like stickles or, you know, adhesives or anything like that that are water-based, so that, you know, the color stays where the color belongs, where I put it. All right. And there we have our colors. Where did I do with my brush? I just want to make sure that we don't have any dust issues. There's my water brush. I've got things all over my desk. Doing preps for different things and makes a mess. All right, so yellow. Not seeing any movement there. The red moves a little bit yeah, a little tiny bit of movement in the red. And a little tiny bit of movement in the blue. So I would say that they are water resistant. They are not waterproof. So they will move a little bit with water, especially if you're scrubbing. What scrubbing means is rubbing the brush back and forth a lot in order to paint in a large area or things like that. But just a little bit of stickles or a little bit of Winkostella or liquid pearl, that sort of thing, is not going to move those colors a whole lot. They might move it a little tiny bit, but not a whole lot. All right. Again, just going to do the smudge test. The smudge test is for my benefit to make sure that my hand and the chemical composition of my skin does not shift those colors all over the place, putting them down in areas I don't want them to be, because my hands do that. That's why I wear a glove when I'm using Prismacolors, because my hands love those. And Prismacolors shift on the best of circumstances, and my hands just love moving those around. Now, with it being a smaller set, it does give you the ability and the ease of not having too many colors to choose from. I personally like a larger set because I don't like blending or combining colors to make other colors. I don't mind it if I have to, but it's not my favorite thing to do. I'm going to change the focus because it is way over focused here. Hold on. That's better. I had it better and then it moved. There we go. I'm going to dust that off, make sure that it's all clear. And we're going to take our finger and we're going to rub the yellow. And it definitely moved. The red definitely moved. And I actually was able to blend the red that was on my finger with the blue and create a little bit of purple. So those will move with my skin. So I definitely need to use my glove while I'm coloring with these. Now we're going to do a gradient here. And we're going to use our pinks because I like pink. And we're going to start with this one here. Now I got the hiccups. I do apologize. My body is just not happy with doing a video this morning. It says, yeah, by the way, no. We're not doing that today. Well, tough. We're doing it. All right. So just to give you a bit of information for tomorrow, the live stream for tomorrow, which is usually at 10 o'clock a.m. Pacific Standard Time, will actually be starting at 11 o'clock a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We will have Tammy, Amazon Tammy, joining us in a joint stream. So she will come on to the channel with me and we will stream together. We have a special artist that we are going to work on. We're not going to tell who that is. That will be a surprise. But we will be working with the Faber Castell pencils, and we will be working on our pages with one color family only. And each of us have chosen a color family. So yeah, it should be fun. And those actually blended very, very nicely together. I'm not having to do a lot of touch-up to bring those colors together without line, which is fantastic. So yeah, the blendability of them is really, really nice for a gradient blend. So let's put those back. And then we're going to take our primary colors here and we're going to do a rainbow blend. A rainbow blend is when you take the three primary colors and you create a rainbow of colors. We're only going to use three different blends. So we're only going to blend yellow into red to create orange and yellow into blue to create green. You can also do blue into red to create purple, which are the secondary colors. The primary colors are red or magenta. A lot of people say magenta instead of red, but both work quite well. Yellow and blue. And the reason being is that most of the other colors in the rainbow or in the color spectrum can be created from those three colors. Going into the red now. Now, because I put down the red first, it's going to create a red orange over the top of the red. And when I go over it again with the red into the yellow, it will create that yellow orange. So we've got the dark orange as well as the light orange. Now you do, and I'm feeling more and more that these are an oil-based pencil because they are requiring to have that layering effect to blend those together and definitely get an orange. Now we're going to bring our yellow back through, make sure that all the red is off of the tip because sometimes you do get a pickup when you're blending the colors. And blend this out, and then we're going to blend our blue into it. and create our green. And because I went from yellow to blue, it's going to show more of a yellow green. And when we go over it, I'll go into the blue from the, and having the blue down first will create a darker green. So the yellow first, you get a lighter green. Blue first, you get a darker green. Okay. Then we'll put down the yellow. And blend those in together. Again, putting different layers intensifies the color. Like so. So definitely do get our rainbow of red to orange, orange to yellow, yellow to green, green to blue. So definitely do get that. All right, so now for blending, both with white as well as with the Caran d'Ache blender. I use the Caran d'Ache blender because it is one of the better blenders that I have found that works in creating a water-resistant bond between pencil and wet product. We're going to use number 17 here, which is a red pink. And I'm going to create enough, I'm going to put down enough pencil to have that blender pick up the color that I want moved. Now we're going to use this one here, which is the first pink that we used on the pink blend above. Again, putting down enough pencil. Now I'm not pushing hard, I'm just layering it on, leaving that white spot for the blender to pick up. And then this one here. Now, as always, with the difference between using a colorless blender and a white is, of course, the colorless blender is not going to lighten the color a whole lot unless you don't put enough color down. They are blending over the white spot as well as bringing those colors together a little bit. But it is picking up quite a bit of that pencil, which I don't like. Of course, it's going to pick up a little bit of it, but it is picking up quite a bit of it. The other blender that I like to use is the Derwent blender. That's the Rembrandt. I want the Derwent. Where's my Derwent blender? And I enjoy using the Derwent blender on oil-based pencils because it does blend a little bit more. So we're going to actually do this one as this Caran d'Ache. So we'll do C and then we'll do D. Putting down the same amount of color. And I'll bring this out a little bit, just like I did with the Caran d'Ache. Still have to put down enough color for the blender to pick it up and move it around. If you don't put down enough color, you will find that, yeah, it moves it into some of the white spot, but you're going to end up with a lot of it picked up and your color dissipated a little bit. All right. Then we're going to start in the light, move into the medium, and then into the dark. And as you can see, there's not as much dust coming up from the Derwent blender, and that blend line is quite smooth. It is also eliminating that white spot. So as you can see, the Derwent blender definitely does a better job with these pencils, which also reiterates to me that it is a more of an oil-based pencil. All right, so the final test is again another blend test. This is blending with the white pencil that comes in the set. Now, some pencils don't come with a white pencil because some sets have found that their white pencil is really translucent, and it actually doesn't leave a lot of pigment on the paper. So using it for coloring white things, if you don't have a lot of pigment in your white, isn't going to help any. However, I prefer that they leave it in, because even if there isn't a lot of pigment and it's very translucent, it still works wonderfully as a blender pencil, because it's the same composition as the rest of the pencils in the set, and it's better to blend with what you're using, the same mixture as what you're using, than it is to blend with something that isn't of that composition, if that makes any sense. I just find it's better to blend with the white if you have it in your set, especially if it's really translucent. If your white isn't extremely translucent, you will get what I'm getting right here, where the colors mute just a little bit. If your white is extremely opaque, it will bring those colors down a lot. Like the Prismacolor white will dull those colors down a lot more than say a Sioux color or anything like that that doesn't have a lot of pigment. This seemed to have quite a bit of pigment, and it did dull those colors down, but it did blend them in a very gradient blend without a lot of heavy line, which is great. So use the white to blend. It works beautifully. And the things that I found disappointing with the pencils themselves is they don't have any names or numbers on them, and for a very small set with no names and numbers, it's actually quite expensive. So value for money, not a whole lot. The EberhardFaber name is something that I have been researching for a while, and I wanted a set in the collection to signify his what's the words I'm looking for? His contribution to the Faber brand as well as the Faber name. And as you could probably tell, I don't just collect pencils because they're pretty. I do actually research them and do spend a little bit of time getting to know the company and getting to know the brand. Faber-Castell was one of the first artist brands that I had, Faber-Castell and the Uni Mitsubishis. So I have been doing a little bit of research on them every once in a while, just looking up their history. I really enjoy history, especially of pencils. I'm weird. I'm sorry. So I'm just using a red pink, a deep, deep pink here on the flower. We're going to blend that with a lighter pink. And we're going to see how well these work on the Nina cardstock to color an actual area. Because, you know, coloring a swatch is one thing. Sometimes coloring an area and getting those um, folds and curves and that sort of thing is a little bit different than just coloring a flat swatch. So that's why I like to have these little pictures on my swatch charts so that I can actually, you know, see how well the pencils themselves work on paper that I use, as well as their blendability and that sort of thing. And as you can see, they are blending quite nice. They are working quite well for the style that I use to color. And everybody's different, so please don't feel that what works for me is going to work for you. And don't feel bad if it doesn't work for you. What does work for me, you know, a lot of times doesn't work for other people. And that's perfectly fine. That's all right. You know, you do what works for you and what you enjoy. That is what this hobby and enjoyment of color, art, I guess is the word I'm looking for. That this is what that is all about, is what is best for the individual. And each individual is different and allowed to be different. That's the great thing about artists. They're all different. Some are eclectic, some are eccentric, some are new and hip, and, you know, just different things. Different strokes for different folks. And none of them are wrong. Just different. But yes, I personally do collect pencils and art supplies, mostly pencils. I'm just saying. Um, that is my passion for collecting, is with pencils and their history and their and knowledge of where they're coming from and that sort of thing. And it's always fun to be able to look up a set of pencils and find that they've come from all over the world. That's one thing I like about my collection, is I can look at my pencils and go, those came from Europe, or those came from Germany, or those came from Prague, or, you know, I can look them and say, okay, those are Dutch and those are, you know, that sort of thing. And I really enjoy that. So knowing that there's several different sets of pencils that are provided and created by the Faber-Castell family in honor of their heritage is really cool. It is still a family-run business. The people that are running Faber-Castell are still Fabers. They're still a part of the family. So it's not run by people that are just there to make money. It is run by people that want to maintain that Faber heritage. So, which I think is really cool. Again, that is today's history lesson. Colored pencil history 101 for the day. Maybe that's what one of my streams should be, is colored pencil history 101. Give you all homework. I know so many people that would stop following me if I did that, because they're all teachers. They do not want any more homework than they need. They don't want to give their kids homework, so they don't have homework. Just saying. If your kid has homework, it's because he didn't do his work during school class time. Teachers very rarely want their students to have homework, because that means that they're going to have homework. And more homework than they normally have. Just going to finish this flower up here. Now I did find that with the greens, when I was swatching, they are a little drier than the other pencils. They're not like cut the paper scratchy, but they do feel a little drier than the other pencils. And I think that's just a pigmentation thing, with A, the type of pigments that they use, and B, the amount of pigment that they need to maintain in those colors to keep a rich, heavy color. All right, and they are just blending beautifully. Just wanted to say that they are combining really nicely, where I'm not getting a harsh line in between colors. The colors that I'm overlapping are picking up each other and just giving us that gradient blend between the two colors, which is fantastic. Even with a jump of color from dark to the lightest color, I'm still getting that combining color ability. So very, very nice set of pencils for actual coloring with. Just a beautiful set of pencils all the way around. The only disappointment I have in them is not in the way they work, not in their abilities. It's in their aesthetic. I feel that for something that comes from such a high quality arena, they should have at least names and numbers on them, or at least numbers, so that it allows us to maintain our ability to swatch and catalog what colors are available. And I know we could still do that and just put the numbers on ourselves. It's not a big deal. And it's not. Quite honestly, it's really not. But when you're spending as much money as they're asking for these pencils, you just want a little bit more value for your money, I guess, is my pet peeve on it. Value for money is not there. I would not call these budget friendly at all. They're not a budget pencil either, so they are an artist grade pencil. However, they're not not one for artists that are going to be um, selling their work from their own information on the website. These are created more for the um, high level of art student. So the end of the art class level where you're about to get your degrees and all that fun stuff. Not like high school art class, but high-end art class type thing. They do classify them as an artist grade, and they do give them the grading, the water resistance grading and that sort of thing that they do with their artist grades. However, they're not as high as polychromos, but not as low as the Faber-Castell Classics. It's that middle ground. Sort of in the same realm as the Faber-Castell Blacks, in my opinion. They are a thicker core than the Faber-Castell Blacks, but they do feel very similar. They lay down just as nicely. And they're all created in the EberhardFabers, the Faber-Castell, the A.W. Faber. All of those types of pencils are created at the same facility. I think the only one that is created elsewhere that I know of, well, a couple of different ones, is the Faber-Castell 100 Classics that was created in the Asian market. It was created for the Asian market. It was manufactured, I do believe, in the Asian market. And the Faber-Castell EcoSoft and Blacks are both developed in Brazil. So, all right, so there we have our picture. And as you can see, it blends absolutely beautifully. So in comparison to other Faber-Castell products, absolutely gorgeous coloring ability. Blendability, everything else is spot on, what you would expect from a Faber-Castell product. They say that they're water resistant and that they're a 4mm core. I would say they are slightly water resistant. They do have some possibility of movement with water, but not as much as other companies do. Blendability, absolutely. They blend beautifully. And of course, the Faber-Castell lineage and heritage that comes with the EberhardFaber name also is something that is really enjoyable to the collector and the people that really enjoy knowing the history of the things they own. I have that thing where I really want to know where they all come from. So yeah, definitely one of those things where if you know the history, it actually makes it a little bit more fun. The set that I purchased was $86.75. They are now $98.60. So I got them on sale. But for almost $100, I would want the names and numbers on my pencils. Just saying. But yeah, so the seller that is available on Amazon is out of Indonesia, so more than likely they are a lot that was purchased and then sold to Amazon from another seller. So I'm just trying to see if there's any other ones that are available not on Amazon. And like I said, on EberhardFaber's website themselves, you can't actually purchase their colored pencils from there. Um, and it literally doesn't even tell you where you can purchase them. So not very helpful. Um, but again, like I said, you can look into eBay and other things like that. I will post a link to the ones I found on Amazon and that sort of thing if you decide that you do want to purchase these pencils. I am not going to publish the swatch list for it because quite literally I just put numbers from 1 to 48 on them and put them on the swatch. That's it. Anybody can do that. No worries. All right, guys. A fairly nice set of pencils in comparison to the other Faber products that I own, such as Faber-Castells, Faber-Castell Classics, and the Faber-Castell Natural, as well as the EcoSoft and the blacks. They fit in very nicely. They are a very comparable blendability and colorability as any of those products. I do find that they are better than the classics and the nature's collection that I have. I don't find that they're better than the Faber-Castell Polychromos and about equal to the EcoSoft and the blacks, if that helps. All right, guys, with that, I would like to say thank you all very much for watching. I hope this has been at least educational, if not a little bit of fun and getting to know the EberhardFaber name. With that, thank you all very much for watching. Of course, always remember to like, comment, and subscribe to any YouTube artist that you enjoy. And of course, always remember to relax, color, and stay safe, everyone. Until next time, bye-bye for now.